The night was dark and stormy. The sea was cold and grey. The lighthouse light shone bravely close beside the bay. But as the sky grew darker, as the fog crept in, the light began to flicker. The light grew faint and dim. And as the lightning crackled and thunder boomed about, the lighthouse light flared briefly, then went completely out. Emerson cried, "Crikey! Oh, lummy!" he exclaimed. He ran out to the hallway and called his father's name. With heavy-sounding footsteps through the bedroom door, his father came more angry than ever seen before. "Wretched boy," he whispered, "knowing every night I lie inside my bedroom, blinded by the light. And when, as if by magic, it finally goes out, you come in my hallway, stamp about and shout. And now, no doubt you're planning to row with all your might across to Lighthouse Island to mend the lighthouse light. But know what's sure to happen if that deed is done. From this day forever, you are not my son." Round and round the lighthouse a frantic dogman flew, howling to the heavens, "What am I to do?" Then Dogman heard a crunching from somewhere on the sand. He saw a figure looming, a lantern in its hand. Dogman's legs were shaking, his fur stood up in shock. "Who goes there?" he shouted, and hid behind a rock. Emerson, in terror, nearly dropped his light as, peering through the darkness, he saw an eerie sight. Crouched behind a boulder, hidden in the fog, was that a doggish human? Was that a mannish dog? Though Emerson was frightened, he knew what he should do. "I'm Emerson," he shouted, then added, "Who are you?" "Dogman," answered Dogman, holding out his paw. Emerson and Dogman shook hands on the shore. Back towards the lighthouse, resolute and true, went Emerson and Dogman, lighthouse work to do. Out upon the ocean, ships with tattered sails battled through the thunder, battled through the gales, as Emerson and Dogman, in panic and in fright, tried to find between them a way to mend the light. Emerson pressed buttons, switches big and small. Dogman pulled some levers. It didn't help at all. Then, as they both exhausted sank down in despair, heavy feet came clumping up the lighthouse stair. Poking through the trapdoor where the staircase led, came a black hat sitting on an angry head. An angry forehead followed, then 2 angry eyes. Emerson cried, "Father!" in terror and surprise. "With all those foghorns hooting from ships about to sink," said Mr. Fisher sadly, "I couldn't sleep a wink." "Now, no more chitter-chatter," Mr. Fisher said. "First we fix the lighthouse, then it's back to bed. Who polished these reflectors? They're sticky to the touch. These spindles are too greasy. This wick's been trimmed too much." They hustled and they bustled, they laboured and they toiled. First the cogs and spindles were cleaned and lightly oiled. Next some new reflectors were polished bright and slick. Then finally they fitted a wonderful new wick. Mr. Fisher proudly shook hands with his son, then turned and said to Dogman, "Turn the light back on."